And we back. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest opinion, update, or unpopular opinion while trying to watch my mouth. We'll see. I don't know. Usually I watch my mouth on updates, but we'll see. Joining me as always is my co-host, Mrs. Beth. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hi, welcome in. Like the video, subscribe to James's channel. Don't be afraid to comment your opinions, all those good things. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, you guys. Yes, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe to both channels because any recaps or reviews I don't do on my channel, it's because we cover it on Mrs. Best's channel. Like we have Love and Hip Hop Miami currently right now, and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which is one of my favorite in the whole Housewives franchise. That's all on Mrs. Best's channel. So make sure you subscribe. Her information is in my link, in my description box, the link, and also right here. So make sure you can subscribe. Click that button. Get us noticed, get the algorithm going, like the video. But y'all, today we're doing an updates video. And those of you who are new to my channel, because I do see a lot of you are new, I do update videos. Like we did one on Aikisha resigning from Bell Collective. That got me a lot of views. And I know a lot of y'all not subscribed for me who watched it. But, you know, I do these to kind of update you guys on shows that we do recap. Some of these people were on those shows or maybe were a part of these shows at one point in time. So when something comes out on the blogs, we usually like to give you an update and kind of give our opinions on the situation. So one of the things I thought was interesting, mainly because Basketball Wives is something we cover on Mrs. Best's channel, but we don't know who's going to be a main cast member or not because they made a lot of changes. We learned that Brooke Bailey will not be back. We learned that Jocelyn will not be back. So. And right now, there's a huge beef going on between Jennifer, Evelyn, and Shawnee. So lots of things are changing with Basketball Wives. You know.
Jocelyn can go.
Yeah. I mean,
She stayed, but she's just boring.
Absolutely. You know, I just feel like, ooh, wait. So, but Royce Reed, who was on Basketball Wives Miami. Shout out to Dr. Jim Bunny in the chat with us. Hey, girl, how you doing? Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. But Royce Reed was on Basketball Wives Miami from season 1 up until maybe season 4, I believe, before she was let go. And she was definitely a hot commodity on that show. She didn't get along with half the women because she was known as the jump off. She was known as the cheerleader, the dancer, and a lot of the basketball players, you know, they were competition to the wives, according to what they said on Basketball Wives. But Royce Reed actually had a baby by Dwight Howard that she could not speak about when she was on Basketball Wives. And to this day, they are still at each other's throats. But more recently, you guys know I covered the story on my channel about a year ago when Royce Reed's son, where she had to go, she was arrested for him, you know, and her boyfriend's son. I remember I covered that, and I remember thinking like, wow, like what's going on with this child? Now I cannot play Royce Reed's live because she goes into some very explicit details. I cannot cover that, but just know that this is where this is stemming from. So she did a live in the Shade Room. Shout out to the Shade Room. They covered it, and I'm going to go ahead and play the audio and also read the little message that she put on there. Let me get my screen going. Hold on one second. She still looks the same. It's crazy.
It's Royce. And due to a lot of recent occurrences that include lies, fabrications, false accusations, threats, etc., I realized that it's about that time for me to tell my story from the beginning to now. Unfortunately, someone keeps calling my bluff. And when you're an ant fighting an elephant, the only way to eat an elephant is bite by bite. Therefore, I want to let you know that I am a true Cancer zodiac. I told you to leave me alone. I told you not to f me, yet you still do. So, because of that, I am not Michelle Obama. When they take it low, I do not take it high. I take it to hell. And now, you're going to get what you asked for. I had a baby by Superman, and here's his kryptonite.
Okay. Well, now Dwight Howard has responded, and He's saying, this is my hoof year. I'm getting married. God is amazing. And I'm so grateful. And I wish Royce nothing but the best, peace and blessings. Now, a lot of us were surprised that Dwight Howard was going to reveal that he was getting married. But who he is marrying was a shock to me. Because I never put this together. I never would have put this together. Y'all want to know who, if y'all don't know who he's engaged to? Oh, I'm about to reveal it. Amy Luciani from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
How you get engaged that fast? Because once you just engage, never mind. Go ahead, Jay.
I said, Amy Luciani, the one I used to go in on about her being mad about Bambi being with one of her so-called exes, that same Amy Luciani? Well, all right, Amy Luciani, girl, you better work that out, even though I don't trust Dwight Howard. I don't.
Dwight Howard doesn't trust himself either.
Because, here's the thing. I don't think... Y'all, I hate when I have to do this on my channel. Y'all know I hate doing this. I don't believe he's straight. I just don't.
Nobody
There's
does.
something about him that just ever since, I just don't see it. But it's a come up for her for sure. And I feel like, girl, she said after all that, still committed. Now, this would give me pause personally if this were me. And the things that Royce is saying and what she has come out with, as I said, I can't play. I wish I could play it, but YouTube, I don't want to get my video flagged because, Dwight Howard's about that legal action. He really is. He had a whole gag order on Royce, which she couldn't talk about him on Basketball Wives. And he drowns her in court to this day. And that baby is 17 now. So I'm just like, wow. So Royce said she ready to go. She said she an ant find an elephant, but she gonna take bite after bite until this elephant down. And I just like, Royce, that baby's almost 18, girl. Give it up and just be happy and go about your way. But I get where she's coming from because there was more to the story than that. So, Mrs. Best, what are your thoughts on this newly engaged couple that are about to get married in 2025? And are you as surprised as me?
Well, I do recap Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, which will be back, I believe, in like a week or two.
A week or two, yeah.
It's interesting that with where filming was for the season that just ended with Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Amy was thirsty and trying to talk to Scrappy, talking to different men's and stuff. So now suddenly you're engaged. The timeline is concerning. Listen, I got married at 19, but I waited 3 years. So I feel like you should maybe get to know people a little better or a little more before you marry them, especially when you're in the public eye. But I don't take the relationship seriously. I don't think anybody on Love and Hip Hop will take it seriously. Everything is moving too fast. And usually the faster it moves, the bigger the concern. Khloe Kardashian and Lamar Odom. I mean, we could name a couple of, couples that got married super fast. They made us think that things would work. And are they married today? Nope. So it's one of those things where I'm just like, I don't really care. Royce, if you're upset with this man and the NDA or your paperwork has expired, then you go and get paperwork on him. Coming to the internet to talk to us about him is not going to make any of this better. It's not going to give you a solution. It's just you mad running your mouth, and people are going to look at it, which they already are. If y'all read the comments, like, oh, wow, she had nothing to say about him until he got a fiance and announced that. Now she has something to say and is trying to relate it to the kid. Just be careful who y'all have kids by and let these people argue. They just gonna keep arguing. Royce needs to go to court if the things that she's saying actually happen.
That's what she's saying in the video that I watched that I cannot play here on YouTube because of the details she goes into. She says she's been to court pretty much this baby's entire life because he's always trying to put some type of clause on her, and she's fed up with this. So now that the baby is becoming an adult, all gloves are off now. She finna come fighting. And here's the thing. If it really is as bad as she's putting it out there, I don't blame her, but I would get it in other ways as well. Like I would have a tell-all book. I would have, just all kind of things. Like just
Listen, Cat, I'm gonna compare it a little bit to something that's probably way more dramatic with the whole Cassie Diddy situation, all the drama
Mhm.
happening with other celebrities. Like if somebody really did something wrong, especially to your child, take them to court. It doesn't matter if you have an NDA, it doesn't matter if you have a gag order, take them to court. Royce acts like she's one of these baby mamas out here who really has nothing of her own, no name to herself, and can't do that. And she can. Crying on the internet is never going to solve anybody's problem.
I think there was a video of her saying that she walked out of the courthouse because the judge was on Dwight's side and said
That's
that.
on her. That's not our problem. That's on her. Don't cry to the internet. We are not the court. We cannot make this person do right. We cannot fix your wrongs. We cannot do anything except look and comment. Go to
Very
court.
true. Very
Go
true.
back to court. Hope to God you get a different judge and hire a good attorney and catch his ass off guard. Don't come at us like this because he's probably talking to his attorney with Amy, getting another gag order or something on her so that she shuts the hell up. Go to court, Royce, because the more she says, all these allegations, whether they're true or not, he could take her to court for defamation, regardless if it's true or not. So, in my opinion, Royce needs to shut up. As for Amy, when you're on Love and Hip Hop and these women start coming for you based on your new relationship, do not say nothing, especially when Amy likes to pick beefs that make no sense. So,
Do
we'll
you
see.
think that she would? Do you think she's going to come back to Love and Hip Hop after?
Yes, she's going to come back to Love and Hip Hop. Because this season that just filmed MTV, since it's been with them, they've been filming back to back to back to back. So I'm very sure that what we're seeing, that what we're going to see on Love and Hip Hop in the next week or two is probably something that's probably only a few weeks away from what we saw the previous season. He said, "Hey, Dwight Howard was on Dancing with the Stars and talked about his kids, except the one he has with Royce."
Oh,
Interesting.
interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah,
Oh,
Royce is doing all this talking, and all he said online is take care, wish you the best, I'm in a good space. That was kind of like, one, you look crazy, like just from his perspective, and two, that's the response someone would have if they've already consulted with their attorney.
yeah, because everything that's been in the media with him lately, with him getting engaged and being on, like his, it's all been positive. So for her to come out now, it does seem crazy. But those stories are very hard to hear when she's telling them. Like I really wish I could play, like YouTube be tripping, y'all. They really do when it comes to stuff like this. Like this makes me want to start my Patreon even more because on Patreon I can talk about this. But here I can't really go into explicit details. I only can play that one video where it was as safe as it could be. But she goes into some horrible details, and it may explain why that son had that situation with her boyfriend's son. It may give some context into that. That's all I'm saying. But I still wish Royce nothing but the best. She wasn't really my favorite on Basketball Wives when she was on there personally. I didn't really care for her, but she did make that show what it is because her and Evelyn's beef was iconic. It really was. I still remember them fighting in that restaurant and throwing glasses at each other. That was hilarious to me. We're gonna move it on along here. Another very crazy situation involving when someone was a child. Ashlee Braxton, who is Tony Braxton's niece, I believe she's Michael's daughter, their brother, said a very interesting story, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta talk about this," because I do recap the Braxtons, at least the new season that they had, which was a flop to me, but a lot of people did enjoy it. So let me see. By the way, Dwight sucked on there when he was dancing. He kept smiling really weird. He's a weird person just in general. So I mean, that's not a surprise. Dwight is very strange. Like, and I'm not saying this just to say no. He's really strange. Like and I'm strange too, but not like that. But let's listen to Ashlee Braxton's little story. Hold on, this is the one I'll play. Let me see. Here we go.
So I want to tell a story today, and that story is about how one of my aunts in my family do not talk to me because they think that I, at the age of 16, did something with her partner at the time. And I have been a nervous wreck to talk about something like this and to tell this story A, because of my family, B, because I don't want people, it's not to hurt people to tell my story. But at the same time, I've been working through this so much in therapy, and this is something that goes way deep to my core in terms of worthiness and how I feel about myself. And it's been such a journey. But yeah, so one of my aunts does not talk to me because I guess she felt like I did something with her partner at that time. And nothing happened, but I'm going to try to tell the story quickly and also not name any names. And so I was with this aunt for the summer with my sister, and I can't remember how much time had passed since we were there in the summer for a little bit of time to when we got home. And when I think it was my stepmother was going through my phone and she found this conversation, this sort of conversation. And she showed it to my dad, and my dad called that aunt, and we spoke about it and we talked about it a little bit. And I remember just a lot of emotions, was a lot going on. I was 16 at the time, and I'm 32 now. I had to think about it. I'm 32 now. And so, oh my God, it's been 16 years. This is wild. Anyway, okay. So yeah, my aunt was there for me. She was very kind and very nice. I was like, I'm so sorry that this happened to you, blah, 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 blah. And not blah, 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 but she was very kind, and it just felt like safe, But then as the years have gone by, it's like that mood and that assumption that I didn't do anything because I was a child was not that assumption anymore. And it boggled my mind because it was like, wait, but if it happened or if it was true, then that would make him, and like, you're okay with that? Like, that's what you would like to hear? And I will just never forget how when I got older, I just realized that I really had to take the time and go back to that part of my life and understand how much feeling of like I didn't matter, that I was unworthy. It just felt like love from my family was just cut off and gone. And you're like, but wait, that guy? And it made it even worse because it was like, wait, this guy that was doing this to you on TV? And like, it's kind of cohorts in the same spirit of what was happening. Not in the same cohorts, in the same spirit, but like, it's so painful. And I know that the ladies, the men, everybody who has experienced this sort of feeling when your family doesn't believe you, or when you're at an age where you shouldn't have been put in that situation to have to navigate it. And however you navigate it was however you navigated it. And this is what I learned in therapy is like how I navigated it and how I dealt with it was how I dealt with it. But the most important thing to understand is that I never should have been put in that spot in the first place. And I think that's the devastating part, is that you realize that you didn't ask for that. I did not ask for that. No matter what, I didn't ask for that. So I'm just wondering what other people who have gone through this, how they decided to handle this sort of situation. how did you go about telling your truth? And how do you tell your truth in a way that honors you? And I think the reason why I'm addressing it now so much is because I'm getting older. And if I want to have kids, and especially if I want to have girls, like I don't want to still be in that space and place and in that situation and just even having to deal with it, you know? And so next year I'm planning to go to the US and I'm planning to like confront a lot of things because my sister passed away. Like I've just I fled the country because I was needing to save my own self and my own life. And when I say all of this, this is not a dig to my family member because it's really sad that she also was put in that situation of having to deal and having to handle. That's not her. Like, I don't wish that upon anyone either. Do you know? There's sympathy there. But there's also so many other aspects of it when you're a child and you're like denied a voice. It's pretty much like a lifelong battle for me. So it's been a journey, but I appreciate spaces like this where I feel like if I talk about it on social media and I just felt like, I don't know, like I just felt like TikTok was the space and the place to talk about it. And it felt right and it just felt accepted in this community. And so if you've ever been that person, I just want to hear from you. I want to know that you're okay. I want to ask you what sort of work you've done for yourself to get better. Like what sorts of things are you doing to make sure that you heal? And I'm so happy that I'm getting to a place where I'm healing so that then I have the heart and the courage to go heal somebody else, that next person.
Okay. Well, um, that was a lot. That was, like Jim Bunny said, Dr. Jim Bunny said, that was heavy. You're saying it's Tamar. Mm, mm, interesting. I don't think it's Tamar, actually. I don't. And let me tell you why. I feel like, in terms of that, I feel like Tamar really, I don't feel like Tamar would have, like, especially going through what she went through, would have been silent about something like this. I don't. And we see, based on how the Braxton showed up this season of them coming back, she's been very vocal about a lot of the things that has happened to her when it came to her sisters, and she's letting out. So I don't think it was Tamar. I really don't. I don't know who it is. I don't know because there's only three other sisters that lived in Atlanta at the time that baby was 16.
When she
Tony.
was 16, also, Tamar had serious problems with the family. I think a lot of people's natural instinct will be to assume it's Tamar because she's
Hmm.
the youngest and she's also the most vocal. And occasionally, Tamar does do too much. However, these sisters have treated Tamar like crap at that
Hmm.
time because I do remember them saying something on Braxton Family Values about Ashlee going off, leaving the country, going through something. Um, Tamar was married to Vince, who was very, very busy at the time managing Lady Gaga. He's also somebody who's an A&R with the label. And Tamar was doing stuff with her career. So I don't think she would have time for that. Separate from that, she was dealing with abuse herself from Vince and was primarily across the country with Tony. So I don't think it's Tony. I don't think it is Tamar. It has got to be um, Trina or Tawanda because Tracy was very close with Ashlee,
Hmm.
extremely close with Ashlee. So I think that it was Trina or Tawanda. Personally, not Trina's current husband, but Gabe. Um, Personally, I don't see it being Gabe because the family did not really mess with him at all and hasn't really messed with him in some time, especially
Mhm.
around that timeline. I think it's Andre and Tawanda.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Because no one else really, Tony didn't have a man. Tamar and her man was across the country going through stuff and dealing with music in the
Mm.
public eye. So when would he have the time to come all the way to Atlanta? And the only ones who would probably be left alone with a husband or in a situation where she could text the husband. I'm like, which husband wasn't working, had time, and was talking about sex a lot? Andre. Because Gabe, yes, was a sex addict, but
Yeah, I was gonna say. See, and I thought, and see, in my mind, I thought for sure she was talking about Trina and Gabe. I really did. I've
but
heard
the family didn't mess with him like that.
right, but at the
So
same
I
time, he's
can't
still
see
in the
that
house.
happening.
He's still in the house though. Like it wasn't,
That's
you
true.
know.
That is true. That
So,
is true.
but even still, my heart goes out to her because she had to leave the country and adapt to a different type of life because she couldn't handle one not being believed when the situation happened, and two letting it get swept under the rug like that without there being any actual consequences. Because to my knowledge, neither anyone's husband is in jail right now due to sexual or whatever it was that happened with this young baby. No one, and this was never mentioned on Braxton Family Values when the
Of
show
course
was.
not. It
So
could also, though, it could
mhm,
also be Vince, just because from what I know about school and statistics,
mhm.
men who are quick to tear up and hit a woman are typically the type of men who will prey on younger women.
Right.
So,
But
even though
this was
nothing's been
16
proven
years
of,
ago, though. So I'm thinking 16 years ago would have been what? It would have been 2008.
yeah.
Okay. Tamar and Vince were in LA, and
Oh,
none
so
of
you
those
cleared them.
situations were coming up at that time. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of who was specifically in Atlanta.
Trina or
Trina,
Tawanda.
Tawanda, and also Tony.
Tony
So
didn't have no husband for some
she did.
time.
No, she
Back in 2016?
no, no. She's saying this was 16 years ago. She's
Oh, but
32.
Tony Braxton's been divorced since before 2008. She started Braxton Family Values
No,
divorce.
not.
She's
It
been
was,
divorced.
I thought her and Carrie were separated, and then she got divorced after season one of Braxton Family Values.
Whatever the hell, they were separated and he spent his time in LA because his
Well,
career, that's
I don't think it
he,
was Tony either, but I'm just saying, I'm just going based on who we knew lived because Tony didn't move to Atlanta until season two of Braxton Family Values. So I'm only can go based on who was in Atlanta at that time. And the only people that were in Atlanta were Trina, Tawanda, and Tony. So I don't know whose husband it could be. And not that it matters because it doesn't take away her experience. I'm just saying, I think it's wrong for them not to address her in the way that something inappropriate happened. I think that that's wrong to ignore her because you felt a certain kind of way. And then also, she said in there that they accused her of having something inappropriate. It was like she's still the underage child. So how can you blame her instead of having a conversation with the man who entertained it? Like, why are we missing that? And it's funny because you said Tawanda's name. Something tells me it's her, but I don't know. I don't. I
Trina's
don't
very
know.
sneaky. I feel like it could be Trina.
It's
But
rumor is too.
Tawanda is also someone who's sneaky and controlling, but I don't feel like Tawanda would wrong
A baby like
a
that.
child. Yeah, Tawanda gives me like, I don't like her, but I feel like she has some type of morals.
I don't know. I'm going based on the behavior I'm seeing today. And I'm trying to picture back in that time. But it's just kind of like I hate that happened to her. Like I do. And I hate the response that she gotten at the time that it did happen. And how, it's taken her to this age to speak about it. And knowing where the Braxtons are with the unfortunate loss of Tracy, and then also with, that situation, how they're milking that for a storyline on their, newly revamped show. It's kind of like I don't know which way to go with the Braxtons. I don't. But I hate that she had to come out this way. I do. Because that's hard. I've never been assaulted in my life, but I can't imagine to have to not only relive that, but also not being believed at the time, or them choosing the side of that man versus you, because we hear these stories all the time. We hear these stories all the time of how predators are protected because children are allowed to have voices. It's sad. It really is. So, my heart goes out to her. I know she has since responded to people pouring out love to her. I want that to continue. And I do pray that she does get some closure, because she deserves that at the end of the day, because she was a kid. Regardless if she was 16, she was still a child. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Is there anything else you want to add, Mrs. Best?
No, I agree with everything you said. She was a child, and the fact that any adult in the family would stop speaking to her is baffling. But
Right.
I'm hoping that now that it's out, she starts to heal and things start to get better.
Me too. I'm hoping that things get better for her. She's in my prayers, and and whatever auntie that is not speaking to her, I hope you take a look in the mirror and reach out to your niece and start your healing journey with her, because it wasn't her fault. I don't care what she did. It was not her fault. She was a teenager in your care. So whichever auntie that was, whether if it's Tamar, Tony, Tawanda, or Trina, make the situation right. That's all I'm going to say. Now, the last thing we got to talk about, I also want to take Princess Love's phone. And those who do not know, Princess Love is I believe now ex-wife of Ray J, who were on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, and also a little bit of Miami. So from what we understand is that Princess Love is posting alleged text messages between Ray J and Sukihana, because it is being alleged that these two are hooking up. Now, I have a hard time believing this, and I don't know why, because I can't picture it. Sukihana does not seem like the type that Ray J would go after, at least not in my opinion, but he might. I don't know. This is Best. You recap this show on your channel. Do you feel that Ray J goes after women like Sukihana?
Ray J don't want Suki, but Suki gonna bring him attention, so I feel like that's why he's willing to act like he is into her and all of these crazy things. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even care about this drama personally. I don't take Ray J seriously. I don't take Suki seriously. I'm not surprised.
I just want to know, what does Princess Love get out of exposing all of this? Because I thought you were done with this man. I thought you were divorced. I thought this was the end. Why? I don't understand her, Erica Mena, who else? There was one more person I wanted to bring up that constantly just wants to throw their ex-husbands through the crossfire. And it was like, you married him. And it's like, I don't understand why you think exposing his business puts you in some glorified light. Like, it doesn't. It makes you look bitter. It makes you look like you're really not over him. And as much as these two break up and get back together, it wouldn't surprise me. But I want somebody to take her phone at this point, because she is just exposing everything, and it's not for the viewing public. If this man really is messing with this woman, you're not with him no more. What does that matter? What does that matter? What are we saying? They're their preferences. Who is? Like, you say I'm Sukihana, because I can't see it. I was trying to picture it. When I first read the story, I was trying to picture it. I really was.
Suki is ratchet and does not represent anything positive in terms of a woman. She represents a woman that's going to give you a good leg. And that's probably all Ray J needs.
Well, damn. I wasn't going to go that far, but okay. All right.
Her career. That's what she does. She came to Oakland. She lost the tooth. She was bouncing and twerking, sticking her tongue out. She went to London and was talking about American pussy and all these crazy things. That's her brand, being nasty. And that little Casamigos song. That's it. That's her brand.
Child, that song used to drive me. They used to play that song in Miami like it was I'm telling you, that song used to drive me crazy. Like, it was like, oh, I'm getting PTSD thinking about that. So they're crashing out, I guess. I mean, here's the thing. I just feel like, Princess, I need you to do something better with your time, baby. I get y'all, when you and Ray J went through a lot. Like, I get all of that, but at the same time, this was like not the move to make sense. I don't know what you thought this was gonna do, Because why are my dude with these so-called women beneath me? I mean, I have to think about that for a little bit. But Sukiana being beneath Princess, because I kind of, to me, I mean, I guess because Princess, we only known her to be with Ray J, and was she with Floyd Mayweather at one point? I don't remember. I don't
She
remember.
was with Mayweather when she first got with him.
Okay.
They're all
Okay.
just side chicks that came up on rings.
Damn.
It's true.
But still, I just feel like once again, it's like I don't think I feel like she's doing this to embarrass him because she thinks the world thinks that maybe him messing with Sukiana was supposed to be some type of disgusting, but I wouldn't put that past Ray J for some reason. Like, I don't really see Sukiana being his type, but I also don't put nothing past him. I don't. I don't put nothing past any man. I feel like they're like with anything, man. As long as you got that in between you, like they not gonna say no. Um, I would say no personally because I don't need her throwing up on me. I'm just saying. I don't need her throwing up on me. I think I can pass for that. I'm saying that's something, Erica. That's a good point. Now that you like, I get what you're saying now. I get what you're saying now. The thing about Erica Mena wants attention, and as long as she has the right platform, she's always going to get it. So I feel like that's her thing. I don't know why Princess Love is doing this. I feel like you don't really need the attention because you're set regardless. So you know, she did do. Yes, I remember that as well. Yeah, I remember that too. Like I don't know why she didn't think Chad wouldn't be into her, but but that's how a lot of them. That's how a lot of them think. Though a lot of them think like that. It's a very mentality. They think women like with the very poignant features and everything. They think that they're not attracted to men, but those women are beautiful. So hello, Shani. Thank you for being here with us, love. We appreciate it. But I'll never forget that. And it was like it's that nanny boo boo shit. When women, think that because they're Latino, Latina, whatever that is, that they're better and stuff like that, and that the black man is going to treat them better than they treat, you know what I'm saying? It's that ridiculous nonsense. I forgot who did that on Love and Hip Hop. I read her for filth because I was like, oh, yeah, I don't like you. I want to say it was Noriega's wife. I really did. I did not like Neri. I think it was Neri. I really think it was her that did that shit. And it was like, oh man, I don't subscribe to that. But that was pretty much it. That's all the topics I want to discuss. I'm also going to take Princess phone. I want someone to make sure Ashlee Braxton gets her vindication. I hope they reveal which auntie it was because I'm nosy and want to know. And as far as Dwight Howard versus Royce Reed, Royce, I want you to cut it out. I really do. Your child's almost 18. I get it, but karma is gonna get it's just due. If everything you're saying is true, he's gonna pay for that. Trust me. He's going to pay for it. If everything you're saying is true. I have to say allegedly because we only have one version of the story. Your son has not spoken out. He's too young. And Dwight Howard refuses to speak on it. So we only have your story. And if everything you're saying is true, let life happen. Because life going to look at Diddy. That's the perfect example. Things catch up to you. You can't do wrong in this world and think nothing is going to catch up to you. So you need to let the world handle that. Because it's going to get him back. Trust me. If he allowed this to go on with your son, if he's allowing this to go on with your son, life is going to get him back. Trust me. So, Mrs. Best, anything you want to add to that? I think it's that app messing up again, y'all. The StreamYard app on your phone is terrible. It really is. So I want to say she agreed with me. I'm gonna speak for Mrs. Best until she get off mute. But if she doesn't, that's fine, But I'm gonna go ahead and end the live here. But make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna try to do an updates video at least once a month if there's things going on. If there's any topics you guys want to discuss, make sure you send them in the DMs. I'll put my Instagram name here just in case if no one follows me on Instagram. I'm not very active on Instagram. I am so sorry, y'all. I'm not too big on social media, but if you guys want to, my IG is right there. You guys can definitely add me, send me stuff. I do read the DMs, some of them. And we go from there. But thank you guys for being here once again. Have a great night. Happy Sunday. Happy New Year. We'll be on my channel tomorrow. It's going to be a rough day for me. I'm pre-warning everybody. It's going to be a rough day for me. But we will get through it nonetheless. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you guys on my next one.